Hello, I'm Anthony August Larson, doing a presentation for the psychopathology class for Dr. Margaret White's class. It is December 2022, and first of all, I chose this disorder, the anxious disorders, because I used to, I developed a program called Star Spangled Producers where we teach veterans video production and other multimedia tools. And I noticed their primary hang-ups in performance were anxiety-based, and it made me quite perplexed and frustrated, considering these were guys that used to kick doors down with machine guns and perform quite well, and now they have to combat this anxiety. So it made me very upset with the whole existence of anxiety, and want to fight against it. So assessment strategies and my understanding of the diagnostic criteria for this disorder will follow, as will how researching this disorder has enhanced my own personal and professional understanding. Of course, this is a brief overview because the whole anxiety subject is far too complex, but we will touch on some various aspects of the assessment, diagnosis, and treatment. Okay, so my understanding of the criteria, I will go straight to the DSM, right? And what do I find? Under anxiety, first of all, the different disorders are the separation anxiety disorder, selective mutism, the specific phobia, where you specify if it's like an animal, natural environment, blood injection injury, fear of blood, fear of injections and transfusions, fear of other medical care, fear of injury, situational or other, right? And then of course there's the social anxiety disorder, and you have to specify if it's performance only, panic disorder, panic attack specifier. See, there's the specifier again. Agoraphobia, which is the fear of closed-in places, and generalized anxiety disorder. I'll go straight to the DSM, and I'll go straight to the criteria for anxiety. As you will notice, these different disorders do have very different criteria, but they're also very much the same. So what's important is to keep in mind that other disorders are very likely to have an anxiety component. That's why there are specifiers, such as, here it is, this article, which discusses utilizing the DSM anxious distress specifier to develop treatment strategies for patients with major depressive disorder. See, there's another one. So it's important for clinicians to keep in mind that adding that specifier will very likely affect the treatment plan. So another example is the anxious distress specifier, which is described later on, which can be added to the bipolar and depressive disorders. So again, the different specifiers will change the treatment. So now we can talk a little bit about treatment, actually. So what are some evidence-based treatment interventions for this disorder? So we have cognitive behavioral therapy. One form of that I particularly enjoy is Dr. David Burns. He has motivational treatment for anxiety. It's motivational interviewing, and he has the motivational model for anxiety, which includes outcome resistance, getting them to stop thinking about what's going to happen, because anxiety really is people thinking something bad is going to happen. He actually tells his patients, I will work with you, I have multiple techniques and tools we can use, but you're going to have to be willing to go with me to the gates of hell to confront your fear and overcome the anxiety. So he has this motivational model, which includes the resistance, getting over the reasons why they don't want to, The behavioral model, which includes exposure, so he literally puts them in a panic attack. I love this. You can find this in the Evolution of Psychotherapy section of the database associated with their school, in the videos that are available for students at Cal Southern. There's the hidden emotional model and niceness, which is where he's just basically makes them feel warm and comfortable so he can with him, so that he can help them overcome their distorted thoughts. That's part of his cognitive model. And essentially, if somebody is thinking anxious thoughts, that is why they're feeling. So once he helps them get over this outcome resistance and really face their fear, they can change the way they feel. And so, of course, there's also mindfulness-based stress reduction, medicine, and CBT, as I mentioned, and and hypnotherapy, which I've done this before, and it's very similar to cognitive behavioral therapy, except for you get the client much more relaxed in many cases. Anyway, ways that researching this disorder have enhanced my own personal and professional understanding. Well, gosh, I never even had a chance to read about the anxiety tree. I really love it in the DSM handbook, because if you take a look at it, you can just basically, obviously have to rule out, physiological effects due to a substance or a type of like physical issue, right? But then after that, there's just so many different disorders that anxiety leads to. It's fascinating. And another way that it helped me was, well, honestly, I get a little anxious sometimes, and I have discovered that if I have a stopwatch, then I can keep better track of my time, and that helps me be less anxious. Thank you.